Well, hello guys, welcome in outside. We are ready-ish to go with our beautiful trip back to Millwall. We've got about 10 games left of the season, and we're going to try our best, I suppose, as these things go, to survive, push up the table, do our thing, you know, get the scoring going, I guess. All those things that football teams tend to attempt to do. We're about to play Norwich to start the episode. Norwich, as you have to say, if you're pronouncing it correctly. Gibraltar is the weekends. We do journeying in the week is essentially the thing, but building Gibraltar and Cities 2 is a brave one. Probably a bit easier to build it in Cities 2 than it is to actually build Gibraltar, because nothing is scaled properly in Cities 2. It's a bugbear. It's a bugbear. You build an international airport that takes up about one city block in space, but there we go. I guess that's my problem, not the games. Right, we are ready to go, and hopefully we'll pull this off table-wise to start off the stream. We are sitting in 21st. We're a few points from being safely safe. City on a rock that's not remotely realistic size and attempt at airport placement, fair enough. Got to build the main road through the airport somehow. That's one for anarchy. I'm not sure if anarchy will let you do that, to be honest. But there we go. Right, so mid-table might be out, but we can try. We can try our best. That's the plan. Changes-wise, I think I'm going to stick Fennell on the bench for Farmer, because I've not been terribly impressed by Farmer, if I'm honest. So that will work for now. Yeah. Let's go play and maybe beat Norwich. Definitely play. Beat. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. Can't pretend the hopes are high, but there are hopes. I'm not high though, but there are hopes. We will do our level best to pull this one off. Right. Really do need to set my assistant manager to take charge of all that, but that's okay. Pressure is all on them. What have we got to lose, etc. Go make a difference. Someone get excited. Goals to happen. Let's go here at Carrow Road, where Norwich are on the table somewhere. 12th. Mariners, welcome in with your 3-stream streak. Excellent work. Welcome in. We're currently slightly better than Norwich. Slightly better than Norwich. Not enough better to get ourselves anywhere further up the table, but we're a little bit better than Norwich. We were. We're not anymore. They've woken up. Either way, we're going to pull it off. We're going to achieve survival. Set ourselves up for promotion next season. He's big, he's bad, he'll body slam your dad, Will Cruz. Very nice. We like it. We like it a lot. Be liking things more if we could maybe see a highlight. This has been uneventful. This has been an unimpressive game of football so far. Good. Happy with how we've dominated possession so far, I suppose. I'd like it if the 4 guys who are in charge of goals would maybe just have a go at doing a goals. 215-23. Can't pretend I understand what that's about, but welcome in. Welcome in, Charlie. sure it's a meme from the TikTok or something. But being over 12, I have no way of knowing. So, always. A.O. Taylor's not been a good boy though, because he's just done a penalty giveaway, which was not the kind of sweepstake we look to do. So if Gorkum Gara can do some kind of saving of this, that'd be nice. He can't. We've started off badly, and I say started off, with 50 minutes in, the first highlight we see is us giving away a penalty, followed by them scoring the penalty. It's not really how I want this game to start. I think we're going to replace the toothless front four. I think that's the solution to this problem, is replace the toothless front four. Because one of the subs has to have an idea. Just by law of averages, one of them has to have an idea. We'll take off Williams because he's overwhelmed. We'll stick in Fennell or Renell. Why not? Certainly nothing to lose by it. Are we back in the relegation zone now? Not yet. Preston are clearly helping us out, or not playing. I don't know which it is. I can't see it. Is this going to tell me? Preston, oh, they're losing to QPR. They're helping us out by also losing. Good for them. Coventry are in danger of clawing their way out of relegation at this rate. They might be our biggest threat to staying up. Inazoki through. Nope. No one's got there. I'm not much of a golfer. I don't really understand golf. PIF have pulled their funding from golf. Well, I can't pretend that wasn't coming. The trouble with golf as an investment is that it's not really a great spectator sport. Like, it's not a sport you're going to grow because it's not terribly exciting. Like, I'm sure it's exciting if you're like really into golf, but like if you were trying to convince someone to get into golf by watching golf, they're probably going to go, literally nothing happens here. Got a fun signing a striker for Newcastle. They need more than just a striker, but you're not wrong. I think there's levels of excitement. Like, objectively, ice hockey or basketball are quite exciting because there's always something happening. Like, people are always moving, at least. There's always like a clear sense of objective. Whereas with golf, you can spend a lot of time watching someone just stand there with a stick in his hands doing nothing. It's like cricket. Cricket is theoretically exciting until you have 5 days of people still around talking. Objectively, power slap is stupid. You're not wrong. Objectively, power slap is one of the stupidest ideas any human being has ever had. Not just because it's a sport that requires very little skill, but also because it's a sport that could seriously harm someone. So, I don't really get it. Noah Knows Everything has redeemed a predict the score. Well, welcome in, Noah. We will do a predict the score for the next game. That is not a problem. I am into F1. I will admit that. Stand here and take an don't take an unprotected strike to the head. That's a stupid idea. Nothing good comes up. Now the thing is with F1, what you see on the track is only about 5% of the sport. American on Power Slap is a moron. Well, let's find out who that moron is, because I've got to do a thing anyway. Who invented Power Slap? I'm sure invented is the wrong word, but I still want to know. Oh, of course it was Dana White. Of course it was Dana White. It had to be as big a moron as possible. Dana White makes sense. In fact, I think we could have all seen Dana White coming. It was the first name that popped into my head. My F1 team is Williams, always has been, but I grew up in Grove and my first job was at Williams. So it's very much an ingrained loyalty. Right, I'm about to set up the prediction now. Manage prediction. Start prediction. I'll learn to spell one day. Okay. Starting a clock on a prediction for this one. Middlesbrough versus Millwall. Well, welcome in, Noah. We've done the predict the score. We've got that happening. But welcome in to the streams, and I'm glad you're here. Enjoy, follow the rules. It's a very simple process, I suppose. Yeah, I've just done an excellent job of reminding me to do a thing though, which is good. Which is good, if I can remember how to do the thing I'm trying to do. Which I probably can't, because sometimes that does just happen. Let's just fix that. Okay, good. I'm good, Liam. How are you? Sorry, welcome in. I'm not sure how I missed you when it was your first time in chat, so that's good. Cannot possibly imagine that I should be worried about an account created 4 hours ago. But there we go. Where are we? Respect Williams, Pestle in McLaren, but only really started watching for when Danny Rick was consistently coming 14th. That's fair enough. So I started watching F1 in 1994. Actually, the very first F1 race I actually remember watching was Imola 94. So I started off with I was going to say I started off with a bang. That would have been really poor phrasing. I started off really well. I started off with a really good weekend to start watching F1. I definitely made a smart choice. One of my very first memories, not just in sports or of F1 or of life, is my dad very hurriedly forcing me out of a room after Ayrton Senna crashed. Yeah. My brain did not. But there we go. Not the best wording I've ever done, it has to be said, but yeah, that was the first Grand Prix, at least the first Grand Prix I remember watching. If you keep saying "don't be worried," I'm likely to suspect that the message I'm getting saying "likely ban evader" is probably correct. I'll be honest. to scran your Indian. Don't eat Indian, people. It's not it's not it's not recommended. It's probably racist. But enjoy the food. Enjoy the food. I'm we're wandering close to Ed Gein territory here. Enjoy. Enjoy. That was the words I was looking for. So predictions are up for the Millwall game. You've not got long left, so if you want to get that into the scory bob, you can do that. If not, don't win points. Don't win points. Whatever makes you joyful, go with it. Essentially. And then we'll play Borough, where hopefully we'll get a win, because we're not exactly safe, to be honest. So we've got to keep this fight going until the end of the season, at which point we are intending to stay up, and then I will do a large scale rebuild of the team, I guess. Let us put that series up top, because I just feel like he might have more chance of scoring. Let's go with that, proceed to match, and try again to get a win. That's the plan. But yeah, I hope everyone is well in chat. I'm sure all will be fine. Yes. My job is this, essentially. I make content. I write things. That is my job. And yeah, at one stage I did do some booking, but that's still technically writing stuff. So, well, that was possibly a new land speed record. Very possibly a new land speed record. That was just bizarre and unnecessary. Which is, you know, fun. Could we have a goal? Oh, it's a lovely little move. Go on, hit me. I'll see if I can dig a story out the memory banks. See if I can dig one out. I don't have any Simon Miller stories. I've never met Simon Miller. I've never encountered him. Joe Hendry. I only really know Joe in passing. We've only sort of met a couple of times. He's a lovely guy. My sister is massively in love with him. But yeah, I don't really have a Joe Hendry story other than he's a really nice guy from the sort of 15 minutes of interaction I've had with him. It's one of those things where he sort of came into the business shortly before I left. How about I choose Jesus? What stories are in my brain today? ones I can tell. That's the trouble. Trying to think of the ones I can tell. It's always the problem with a redeem. Trying to think of the stories I can tell. Trying to hear the story of why William Regal is a prick. I can tell the story of why William Regal is a prick if you like. So, William Regal and I don't really know each other, in that we've never been in the same room. Well, no, actually, tell a lie, we have been in the same room very briefly, but we've never met. We have friends in common. So, Mr. Regal and I had a small falling out after. I'm very open about the fact that I used to have issues with drugs and alcohol, and I had a match that was, let's say, lower than the desired quality because of my substance abuse. And someone asked Regal to critique it on the internet, and he obliged and called me all sorts of horrendous bullshit. Bearing in mind we've never met. Basically attacked my character, personality, ability as a human being, not just as a wrestler. And then one of our mutual friends, I know for a fact, contacted and said, look, they've got a bit of a substance problem and you should maybe leave them well alone or help in some way, you know, because he's also been there. And he proceeded to tell them to get fucked and then add a string of adjectives describing me, a person he'd never met, to the end of it. And that was the moment that I lost all respect for Regal and decided he'd go fuck himself. I didn't expect him to help, but like when you get told, look, there's something deeper going on here, back the fuck away. Pro tip, back the fuck away, don't double down, don't do it publicly, by the way. Anyway, but yeah, so that's my story of why William Regal is a prick. Did I ever meet John Cena and Mark Henry? No. I've never been in the same place as either of them at the same time. Oh yeah, I know my friend is a real one, for sure. But just the fact that he doubled down was fucking stupid. Like, it was just awful. And especially because, like, you have to be aware of, like, the power differential as well. Like, I always think, like, the first rule of anything in life is never punch down. Like, I was never on his level in the industry, and arguably never going to be. I mean, definitely never going to be. But, you know, but yeah, it was just like a don't punch down. There was nothing to gain from it. Like, you've just exposed yourself as being a prick for no good reason, and it's cost me nothing because I was already fucked. Name 5 people that you met that are well known. I mean, just in the wrestling world, I know AJ Styles, I know the Guns, I know Mick Foley, I know Paige, Sheamus, Drew. I don't know the Bucks. Fuck the Bucks. Fucking pricks. I have actually no. I tell a lie. I have met the Bucks briefly, and they were fucking awful. They were fucking awful people. They were just the worst. So I was involved in organising I did a little bit of work behind the scenes on the Dragon Gate show that happened in the UK about, I don't know, 15 years ago, 2009-ish. And I was just sort of hanging out, doing things, helping out the promoters and whatnot. I was just minding my own business because I'm there to do a job. And they seemed really, really vocally offended that I hadn't I hadn't been up to them and like fawned over. Like, I've been polite and sort of said hi, shaken hands, etc. because I was trained properly, but I hadn't like for some reason got excited and started like I don't know blowing them or whatever. And they got really, really upset that I didn't give a fuck who they were. But also, I've been around people who are bigger stars than they were at the time, and arguably are now, and I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, I spent time training under Jake Roberts. I'm not going to be impressed by the young bucks. Just two skinny fucking twinks who can't work. But there you go. There's a Bucks story, a bonus Bucks story. Football story. Go on, hit me, Liam. Let's see what I can do with a football story. Glenn Hoddle. I mean, my go-to Glenn Hoddle story is the Legend of Birmingham. The one where we beat Birmingham 4-1 with 10 men, and Hoddle stuck our entire team behind the ball and just basically took them on by himself. That's my go-to Hoddle story, but every Swindon fan knows that story. What other Hoddle stories do I have? Another Swindon player. I got to meet, he's not a bad commentator, he knows the game, he does know the game. My favourite Swindon player, okay, so it's really hard to pick a favourite Swindon player. But I'd say my favourite Swindon player of all time was Colin Calderwood. He was my favourite when I was a kid. Which is weird, because I played as a striker, my favourite Swindon player was a centre-half. And he was a Goliath of a man. Obviously went on to play for Spurs in the Premier League, played for Scotland in a World Cup. Great centre-half. I do remember him once when I was a kid scoring a goal from the halfway line for Swindon, which I think is probably why he became my favourite. I don't know if the video is anywhere on Tinterwebs. I should look. Let's have a look. Let's ask the interwebs if it has it. You'd think it would. You'd think the internet would have that goal somewhere. Is it? Oh, it is out there. It is out there. Let me try and find a timestamp so we can enjoy it. Is the stuff of legend. It is the stuff of legend. Is it the third goal in that game? You'd think that someone would timestamp this video, but they haven't. It is potato quality. Can we maybe see it? Oh, it's early in the video. Good, good. Come on, show me the clip, and I will give you guys a link to the timestamp on this at YouTube. Here we go. Here we go. Timestamp. Colin Coldwood doing magic. There you go. For everyone to enjoy. Colin Coldwood, though, great football. Probably my favourite ever Swindon player. And who else was I always liked Danny Invincible, but that was because he had a superhero name. Danny Invincible. Has there ever been a better real life name for a footballer than Danny Invincible? And I know we could split hairs and say, oh, it's technically Danny Invincibile, but he was a cracking footballer. Yeah, I love a good halfway line goal. Here we go. People who aren't Swindon fans never believe me. This was the fella's real name. His name was Danny Invincible. Yes, it is technically Daniele Invincibile. He is technically an Italian-Australian man. But his name is Danny Invincible. So, yeah, Ian Holloway is unfortunately still at Swindon. Luckily, he'll be gone this time on Sunday. So, small mercies. Because, fuck me, he shit the bed. He shit the bed this season. And, like, not just any bed. Like, Gold Star Hilton Hotel fucking bed he shit. Was it Swindon who kicked out the cup? It was. It was. Because, well, first of all, we started the game with a player who was suspended for sexually assaulting someone on the football pitch. Shouldn't have still been employed, much less been around the club to be selected whilst suspended. And then we tried to sub on a player that we hadn't put on we successfully put on a player as a sub at half time that we hadn't put on the team sheet. And then Holloway tried to blame some unnamed administrator for putting the wrong team sheet in or some bollocks. And it was like, Ian, you get handed a copy of the team sheet that you have to physically sign it yourself and hand it to the referee before the game. You had every opportunity to catch these mistakes. Don't fucking blame someone else for your incompetence. That's all I'm saying. So he successfully lost the dressing room at Swindon, which hasn't been helped by the fact our chairman refuses to pay players, apparently, and staff. Yeah, and then Luton went on to win everything, win the whole thing. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling watching Luton win the competition. Oh, we're playing Luton now. It was a great feeling watching Luton win a tournament that we'd knocked them out of. Still a chance of playoffs? Yeah, but there's a chance I'll wake up next to Jessica Alba tomorrow, but it's very unlikely because I don't think she's in Swindon and I'm not getting on a plane. So, that is a chance, but it's a really remote one. I would boldly say there is more chance of Swindon winning the Champions League next season than us making the playoffs on Saturday. That's the level of confidence I'm working with. I think there's more chance of us winning the Champions League next season than us going up on Saturday, us qualifying for the playoffs on Saturday. I think we'll be very lucky if it just finishes 1-0 to Chesterfield. Because we look awful recently. Like we are on relegation form at the moment. And have been since mid-January. Like, the fact that we're even in with a chance of qualifying for the playoffs is mind-boggling. Oh, our midfield is terrible. I didn't see the York-Rochdale game. I had it in a note to sit down and watch it after it happened, because I was streaming when it was going on. And I forgot. I heard good things, but I haven't actually had a chance to sit and see what really happened yet. Do I rate Clark? Absolutely not. Fuck him. Hope he retires. Excellent. I did hear all the stories. I just haven't had a chance to actually watch it yet. Yeah, Ollie Clark can get fucked. I hope he either leaves or retires, or both in the summer. Ideally retires, because he shouldn't be allowed in the game anymore anyway. Oof. Would certainly say, whether we make the playoffs or not, the midfield needs a lot of work next season. A lot of people shoehorned into our midfield who aren't really midfielders. That's the other issue. Like, I struck, like, especially of like the central midfield, there's no one aside from Kilkenny realistically that I think is a quality central midfielder. Hindo, welcome in. How are we? I should be doing better with my shouts, by the way. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm doing terribly with my shouts today. If you're not following the current King of Scotland, Hindo, please do that. And then I've got to try and make sure I get the right one here, because otherwise I'm going to look really stupid. Shout out for Mariners. Oh, I found the right one, I think. Yeah, do go follow those guys, because they're amazing. I'm good, mate. I'm good, thank you. I'm not enjoying the current form that my Millwall team is on, but you know, you can't expect much more. We were bottom of the league when we got here, so such is life. But yeah, we're all good, mate. We're all good. We're just having a lovely chill session where we try and give away as many penalties as possible. Hey, we always shout out the squad. That's the rules. Always shout out the squad when they pop in. Make sure everyone is following. Yeah, it wasn't like I got bored with Scotland or with St Mirren or anything. It was a case of, obviously you have to be a bit sensible with a Journeyman, and whereas St Mirren were paying us £90,000 a year, Millwall are paying us $500,000. So just made sense. Liam, welcome into YouTube chat. Sorry, I've just spotted that. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. Yeah, if you offered to multiply my wages by 5 in any job, I'm going to take it. It just makes sense. But we did leave St Mirren in 5th, so I think we did alright, as A.O. Taylor gets himself a goal. Look, I followed a fine Scottish tradition of making sure I had as much money in my pocket at all times as possible. And also, to be fair, if I'd been loyal, I wouldn't have gone to St Mirren from Cambridge, where I was doing pretty well. So, chase the paper, you know? Chase the paper. I mean, it's true, but I'm not being forced to live in London. See, logically, Millwall and their training ground is close enough to my brother's house that I could kip on his couch, not pay any rent, or, like, you know, chip him a fiver here and there. It's true, I did get, there are free prescriptions in Scotland, that is true. Ironically, a big part of the reason I was looking at moving to Cardiff not so long ago. very big part of the reason I was looking at moving to Cardiff. Because apparently Wales and Scotland can do everything right. Free public transport, my word. Bloody spoiled. Cheap Wi-Fi. You lot are getting spoiled. You lot are getting spoiled, and I demand someone does something like free uni. I don't think it's just free uni for Scottish people. I think you just have to have lived in Scotland for 5 years. I don't think you actually have to technically be Scottish to get it. Oh, interest-free student loans. I could have sworn there was some rule where you had to have lived in Scotland for a certain number of years and you could get it for free anyway. Sure I read that being a thing. I might be wrong. I mean, you're closer to it than I am, but I'm sure that was a thing I read. No such legal thing. Welcome in, Simon. So I know how to run a country and your people like you? Yeah. There's always rules. Pint for the fella, glass of white wine for the lady, innit? To qualify for free tuition, you have to have been living in Scotland for 3 years prior to your course start date, but it doesn't say you have to be Scottish, just ordinarily resident in Scotland. So theoretically, I could go and live in, like, Glasgow for 3 years. I wouldn't survive in Glasgow for 3 years. I'd get killed, let's be honest. But I could go and live in somewhere less dangerous in Scotland for 3 years. And I could have all the free uni I want. Just collect degrees. Like a compass. I mean, fair, I've never actually felt unsafe in Glasgow. I've also never been there for more than a week at a time, so... Well, I've heard such things. I clash at the castle. Indeed, they did that abomination. I think I prefer Glasgow to Edinburgh, but only because Edinburgh is built on the side of a hill, and I'm a fat bitch, so... I would imagine Marinus was going from the train station rather than... Glasgow is also on the side of a hill, but it doesn't feel like it's a mountain. Yeah, something about... I think maybe it's just because you come out of Edinburgh station and then you're like... You basically find yourself walking up a cliff face to get anywhere good. I say get anywhere good, but I did go and have a look around the park because it was the Christmas market time, and it was pretty good. Is this the famous uncle or another uncle that owns the Loudon Tavern? So I enjoy clubs that have like a club pub. I always think it's quite nice. Like Swindon have got a club pub, but it's a fucking awful pub. It just happens to be right next to the ground. Otherwise, no one would go in there. Like, I couldn't imagine they do much business on non-match days. Academical vaults in the Bay Horse. Wild. Wild. Right, we've had our youth intake. Where did that go? It said youth intake. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. I saw it. Holy mama. I'm not going to lie, kids. This would be a great time for a redeeming and rename a player. Because Ibrahimu Abdallah, 1.5 stars at 15 in the Championship. With 5-star potential, with realist personality. Just throwing it out there, he might be someone I would want. Hindo's in there, look, Hindo's got there. You got ads? I hope that's ads and you've not just missed an A. Or missed an I even. That was awful. I shouldn't be making AIDS jokes. We'll get there. "60-second ad jail." Oh. Rick Penny, I was going towards you a scheme this week. Fair. Hang on now. Hang on now. Hang on. Let's not stir this pot too much. Let's not stir the pot. I made a joke. Anyway, hi, no, I'm assuming you're back. What would you like to call this young man? What are we renaming Ibrahimu Abdallah to? Right, we're back. Good. Hopefully. What are we calling Ibrahimu Abdallah? What are we renaming the fella? Alright, we'll just go straight to Hindo. Beautiful. He's probably going to play quite soon, I'll be honest, because he looked really good. We've got Sharon Bino. Oh, sorry, Sharon. He doesn't look like Ed Sheeran. He's a goalkeeper of... ability. Single barrel. Those Shakhtar players, indeed. He might be alright. Mind you, the Osborns. That's awful. She's a horrible racist little cunt. Sharon, where's me biscuits? Horrible racist little cunt, that Sharon Osbourne. He's not good. This looks like it's a one-player intake. Trey Bino. They're never called Al, are they? If it was called Al, I'd have signed him. 6'5" though. With could improve a lot potential. Jack McSweeney, the most Scottish-sounding English person in the world. Of course, he's English and Irish. That makes sense. You want to expect more from these jokes? I don't know what to tell you. Ray J McFadden, famous for that video he did with Kim Kardashian. There you go. You wanted a better joke. That was what I was offering. A Ray J joke in 2026. Yep. If anyone, of course, remembers who Ray J is, could you please tell his family, because they didn't know to begin with. I don't think I need to look at the rest of those players, because they're all going to be awful. Awful players. Awful players. Well, I could drop a quality joke every now and again, but if I just drop good jokes, how would we feel, really? Prapsanyatiga, welcome in. Hope you're well. Yeah. Made my life horrible for a while though, the Osbournes. Welcome in all. So at the height of the Osbournes craze, I lived in a tourist city. I mean, I lived in Oxford. It's not like I'm doxing myself. I don't live there now. And I used to get tourists all the time who thought I was Jack Osbourne. All the fucking time. And I was like, I'm clearly not Jack Osbourne, because why the fuck would I be here? But there we go. Jack Osbourne making everyone's life that tiny bit worse, but not as much worse as his mother, so... Right, where are we? 6 games left of the season, and 18th is pretty strong going. We've got Coupar next, and I'm doubtful of our chances to drag ourselves much higher than this, but we'll have a look. Let's go holidays to the next match. I'll be back in just a second. There we are. Could I possibly have a VIP role? I think I'm a very important person. That's not really how that works. My favourite club from London. Guess Leighton Orient are okay. Don't really have. Actually, QPR is quite. I quite enjoy going to QPR. Maybe it's QPR. I don't know. Don't. I suppose the trendy answer is Wimbledon, isn't it? I've never bothered about being trendy. Also, fun recommendation for those who are looking for something to watch on TV. I've recently been binging Corner Gas, and if you've never seen Corner Gas, my god, you need it in your life. And when I say need it in your life, I feel like it's very much up Hindo's alley. It's on Prime. Let me. It's very funny. It's a very funny show. Very similar sense of humour to. Very similar sense of humour to Trailer Park Boys or Still Game. This is Corner Gas. Which For some reason it's showing as available on Prime, despite the fact I was literally watching it on Prime earlier. Which is very odd. Why is that saying it's not on Prime? Is it because of something stupid like it's technically on Freevee or some bollocks? Ah, Doom is lurking. If you're not following Doom, be following Doom. It's great advice, the best advice I can give you, really. Oh, I see. It's on Plex for free. There we go. Let me before it tries to autoplay. Strongest recommends. Strongest recommends for this show. It's so funny. Just brilliantly written, shot on a budget of pennies. It will make you laugh out loud. Check my DMs. On Discord, I assume. Oh. Yeah, do it. Do it. Feel free. Right. I know signed a youth contract. Let's pop him up into the senior squad because he's going to be a monster. He is going to be an absolute monster of a footballer. I just feel it. Oh, he's got consistent performer. Oh lordy. I didn't even spot that before. Excellent. Excellent stuff. That's great news. Right, this Dat Serious guy isn't scoring. Is he getting any XG at all? So why the fuck's he not finishing? Why is he not finishing? There's no good reason this fella shouldn't be scoring goals. You want the tactics explained? Yeah. So, tactics, really simple. Really simple. When we've got the ball, we start off as like a lovely shapy shape like this, and then everyone moves forward as a unit, and then when we lose the ball, everyone comes back and compacts like a unit. It's a proper shithouser tactic, if I'm honest. But basically, when we've not got the ball and we're being attacked, everyone's in our box. And we have got the ball and we're doing the attacking, everyone's in their box. It's honestly shouldn't be as effective as it is. And I built it just because I thought it'd be funny. And then it turned out to really entertain me. So that was the tactic that I went with. So basically, I built this tactic for my own amusement, expecting it to be a bit shit, and it turned out that it was not, and it was in fact quite good. Right, we're going to give Dat Serious one more chance to score, and if he doesn't, I'm going to stick the Macedonian fella in up top. That's a VIP. Oof. Oof. Hindo dropping the blow hammer. what we like. It is a sort of unwritten rule of Twitch. It should be in my actual rules, I suspect. But like, if you ask to be a mod or for VIP, it's not going to happen. And like, I would say probably the next person in line to get mod would be Mariners, but I'm also very conscious of the fact that Mariners is modding out 9,000 channels and probably doesn't want another one. So Mariners is already in charge of modding the entire reading and writing space. I think VIP puts like a little diamond next to your name. Like, it's not, it doesn't give you any real power. It's not really meaningful. I know some streamers use them to mark out other streamers in their chat. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure I've got whatever Llama's version of a diamond is. Because I know Llama's replaced the diamond with something, but I think I've got Llama's version. Interesting tactic was about your own tactic in 1 to 10. Is it only for small clubs being used by large clubs? I've used it at every level, and it seems to be pretty consistently successful. It doesn't really require anything from your players except decent work rate. If you can fill a team with players with decent work rate and stamina, you're going to be golden. If Llama is the GOAT, then is he also still a llama? Or is he just a goat? I kid, I love Llama. Great guy. One of the content creators I've had the privilege of knowing for a very, very long time is Llama. I think people realise quite how far Llama and I go back until they go into like our channel histories and realise that we've been working together. We've done stuff together since 2018, 19. Like we've had history of working together on stuff. And great guy. Him, Kev, Prophet, who always seems to appear when I mention him. Oh, we love a good save recommendation video. I don't put out enough save recommendation videos. I did like 3 or 4 ahead of the season on my channel. And I tend to put quite a lot of research into them. Yeah, Llama's great people. Like, I tend to recommend saves that are interesting for some reason. Like, wouldn't it be cool to manage in the Swedish 3rd Division? Yeah, but why? Why is that cool? Like, one of the things I put in there was like managing FC Juarez, which Simon's saving lives out here. Because it used to be known as the murder capital of the world. Actually, that's a really interesting backstory. No worries. Prapsanya Tiga. I'll never pronounce that correctly. But yeah, it can be used. I think I've put the tactic on the Steam Workshop. If I haven't, let me know and I'll put it on there. If you want to have a wee play with it. If I was to give Any advice today? I would say making an enemy of Hindo. Least smart thing you can do. I mean, any Scot in general is ill-advised, but certainly wouldn't be recommending it with Hindo. In fact, if anyone does want to have a little play with this tactic, I can drop it in the Discord. That's not a massive issue. If anyone wants to have a little play with the tactic, I can drop it in my Discord. From the Senior Women's Liverpool FA County Cup final. Presumably not for seniors. Yeah. It's not my tolerance is low, it's just that I can be a bit of a soft touch sometimes. Liverpool Feds beat Liverpool M21s 3-1. I do try and be too nice. It was because I was abandoned by a cunt as a child, so I try not to be one. It's life. It's really funny. Without getting like way too deep for a stream, an FM stream, my mum almost never swears. To the point where she finds it really funny that I can get through an entire YouTube video without swearing. Because we're just polar opposites in that regard. But whenever my dad messages her, I get a text from her going, "That cunt's been in contact again." Only person she'll ever say that about. Only person she ever swears about. It's brilliant. Outstanding. On PS5, you know when FIFA World Cup available for PS5? I don't know when it's available for PC either. I think our best guess at the moment is sometime early June, given the conversation we've had. You're not getting bullied, Charlie. You're not. You're just being told not to ask for VIP. Yeah, I imagine beginning of June is my best guess based on the information I have at the moment. My recommendation is, Jimmy, if you follow FM Console, and if you're not, you should be, because lovely bloke, he's got a real knack for sniffing out insider information. I would suggest if anyone's going to find out first, it's going to be him, because the closest I've ever got to beating him on an FM news story was that we both posted videos within 5 minutes of each other when FM26 was coming out, and he still beat me. We'd happened to see the post at the same time, but my editing program works slower than his. Because we were having a good old laugh about it, how we'd both seen it posted at exactly the same time, immediately sat down and made a video, and because his video rendered faster than mine, his went up. It's going to be its own game mode or the international match normal saves? I believe normal saves. Console had the game mode, also the new roles in Marchish, I think. Because it came from the data thing they were trying to sell, which I still have a huge problem with, by the way. Still have a huge problem with that. Really made me angry when I saw that. Because I've heard what they're charging clubs to access the database. And by the way, you're a mug if you're paying them 4 figures a year to access the FM database for scouting purposes, when you can quite literally just buy a copy of the game for 30 quid and open up the editor and get exactly the same information. So any football club actually paying to license the database is a fucking moron. But also, they do not pay the researchers to find that data, but they're still selling it, which I think is gross, personally. I think that's really grim. My hour-long video when the game first came out? Maybe. Did I make an hour-long video when the game came out? Did I do that? I'm genuinely asking. I can't remember. There's a realistic possibility I did do that. I've just seen Simon's comment. Outstanding work from today. Did I actually do that? Did I actually make an hour-long video? I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be a shock if I had. This one I get reminded there are in fact 3,000 videos on my channel or something stupid. There's too many videos on my channel. I think I saw Console's video and just went off a bit. Did I do an hour-long video? It's very probable I did. I definitely had a bit of a rant. Oh, I did. There is a realistic possibility you saw that, because 2,500 people have watched that and it's had 127 comments. Maybe. You could do us some advice FM wise. Alright, I got you. What you need? What do we need, Simon? Let me see if I can help. Game was a total shit show when it came out. Have a negative transfer budget, which I can't achieve moving wages into. It means any transfer that comes in, I can't have any from the transfer budget. Okay. There's not really a lot you can do about that, bar sell players, unfortunately. There's no real way of cheesing it unless you do everything in your power to make the club profitable and you just keep begging the board to give you more transfer budget, and they might get you back to zero, maybe. Which elements of free transfer calculates transfer budget? The old one comes out and says needs. Okay, so let me. I can demonstrate this. Look at me using my powers for good. Let's go with an attached player, obviously. Right, so let's say I want to sign Connor Cassap, right? We'll ignore that. I probably should sign this fella. I'll be honest, he looks quite good. So, if you look down here on the right, you'll see where it says transfer budget impact. Let me put it into the full screen mode just to make it a little bit easier for a second for you to see that. So, down the bottom, you'll see transfer budget impact. So, you see if I change the wages, it only affects wage budget. I know, shocking ball knowledge. So, loyalty bonus is a huge cost against that cap. So, that costs my budget nothing. So agent fees come out all at once. So if I say 53k, it puts 53k down there, right? Now here's the real super semi-secret sauce, right? With these loyalty bonus. Here's the bit people miss with loyalty bonus. So obviously this at the moment is costing us £4,000 of our transfer budget plus 116k future. Sounds like big deals, but what you can do is, if I put that on 4 years, it's now costing me 2,000 up front. So I've halved what's going out. So you can cut down what the loyalty bonus does to your transfer budget by extending the contract. But there's more. Hang on a sec. There's more. There's more learning here. So a good little tip, which it's a bit cheesy. It's a bit, hey Dylan, welcome in. It's a bit of a cheesy one. But if your cost on your transfer budget for the current season is below £1,000, even if you've got no transfer budget, it will let it go through. But it has to be below £1,000. So, yeah, that's the secret to that. No worries. Also, since I'm doing fun tips, you know when you get like because I've sort of semi-decided. Let me just double check I want this guy. I probably do. Right. So when you've got a contract like this as well, doing a save of Rangers starting the Championship. So here you can see he wants 1.1 million a year as his wage. I obviously can't offer him 839 as actual wage, right? So if I drop that down, and now it says 1.05, so I've dropped it to the maximum I can afford. I can then tweak these so that goes back up towards 1.1. And now the secret is to go ever so slightly above that, and he should accept the contract every single time. So there's another little contract secret people miss. Won the playoffs at 15th in first season. Nice. Yeah, there's my 2 tips for making a player join you who maybe necessarily wouldn't join you, but think that I found both really useful to know. And they're things that you have to be a real nerd to know. And I admit I'm an FM nerd. I don't think that's a secret from anyone. Putting 0 relegation release clause, which is even cheesier, but it does bring it down. It does. I don't think it's quite as cheesy as when you offer to pay them £1 million or whatever, or like the maximum you can pay them bonus for winning the Ballon d'Or and you're in League 2, which you can do, and it does tend to help. But I would never, obviously would never, certainly have never offered a player in the National League South a Ballon d'Or winning bonus to convince them to sign. Because that'd be cheating, obviously, on a single player game. Definitely haven't done that. Anyway, we're playing Charlton next, and we've got 5 games of this. Yeah, the 0 relegation does work wonders. It is magical. Where's the camera? Oh yeah, sorry. I was showing Simon how you get rid of the transfer fees for whatsy dooble things. I was teaching a thing. It was easier to make the screen big, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Why do I have the screen I do with the guy behind me? Do I need a chat overlay? I mean, I don't really need a chat overlay. I just have one because it makes people feel warm and fuzzy. And the guy behind is classic channel meme Kyle Lafferty. So that's why he's hiding. I do occasionally replace him with other things for the memes. So like, do I have it set up still? Did I take that away? Maybe I did get rid of it. Maybe I did get rid of it. Let me find out. Did I get rid of that? Questions I have to ask myself constantly. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Yeah, I do occasionally stick it. Anyway, I occasionally stick other things in there. Just, No, it's not. That's not. I promise you, that's Kyle Lafferty. That's a recent picture of him from the team he possibly owns in Scotland. We were never quite entirely sure what the story there was, aside from he's probably got a mistress there. Yeah, Johnston Burr, yeah. That's the one. That's the badger. That's the badger, but yeah, that is him. Vanessa is fit. I mean, I'm not going to scandalize. Anyway, yeah. Weird. There is a possibility I found the wrong guy. And I've just realised there's a picture of the wrong guy because all generic tattooed white guys look exactly the same to me. Anyway, look, the important thing is we tried. And also that I can't find the original file, which is a problem. Where's the thing? XCF images. Well, I cannot find the original artwork, which is great. That's going to really help me. Cannot find it. Maybe I'll make a new one. Maybe I'll make a new one. Having lost the file I built out of somewhere. That's gone well. To be fair, I have actually been meaning to rebuild the overlay, so I'm sure it's absolutely fine. I'm sure that's completely normal. Nothing bad can happen. Google Vanessa Lafferty. I will do in a second. Hang on now. Hang on now. Just doing a thing. Just doing a little thing. That's definitely a thing. I do wish my computer would work a little bit faster than it is. I should fix this later. It's fine. I do need to. Like I say, I do need to sort of tweak the overlay a little bit anyway, so that's fine. It was due a refresh, right? You wanted to see Vanessa Lafferty, okay? Wow. So hang on now. Hang on now. I have questions. Why is Kyle Lafferty constantly in trouble for cheating on his missus? Like, what's this lad thinking? What is he thinking? Does he just not have eyes? What a weirdo. Anyway, that's more homework for me. And let's go and beat teams, because it's, Jesus, 11:30 and we've done less matches than a standard llama stream. We've only done 4 matches. I was going to finish the season tonight. That's not good. Alright, let's go play Charlton. That's a plan. That's a plan. Right, we will crack on with some gameage. First of all, Charlton Athletic. Right, this fella still hasn't scored, which means he's going to play on the right wing for the Baldwin fella, who is currently not fully fit. And we're going to stick Mashevsky up top, because nobody else seems to know where goals are, and I need some. So we'll do that. And we're about to make the magic happen. And maybe score some goals to drive us up the table a bit more and make the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, which I'm sure will be fun. I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, do that. Matches like these matter for us. I don't want to answer your stupid questions. Just go out there and play some football. Right, we're underway, and we start the game with Charlton doing something in the league. That worked out really well. That's gone really well. Charlton are currently 10th, and we are... Why is that not dragging and dragging and dragging? I love when FM works properly. There we go. We're currently 18th, but with the last team playing, so logically we can, with 3 points, push ourselves all the way up as high as maybe 16th. Oh wait, no, that's not how maths work. Yes it is. Yes it is. That's how maths works, unless Plymouth have got a way better goal. Plymouth have got a way better goal difference than us. If we win 7-0, she says, as we have no shots on target, we could, in theory, climb to the dizzying heights of 16th. If we win 1-0, we could climb to the dizzying heights of 17th. Just as the season starts to come to a conclusion, there's no chance of playoffs. We're just fighting to put as much distance between us and relegation as we possibly can. Maybe try and sneak a mid-table finish is loosely the plan. See, it's all well and good heading on the ball a little bit, but someone has to be there. Like, defending is only really effective when it turns into an attack. Finished 11th in the league. That was rapid. Rapid stuff. Rapid stuff there. Magic. I've heard some good things about finishing 11th in the league. Got to the FA Cup semi-finals. Bloody Cup semi-finals. Alright, we're not doing a great job of scoring goals, I'll be honest. I I mean, we're doing a good job of not conceding them for 40 minutes, but we're not. It doesn't produce exciting games of football, this tactic. It has to be said. Shouldn't be played at Wembley, by the way. The FA Cup, or the semi-final, yeah. Semi-final shouldn't be played at Wembley. Should be played at Villa Park and Hillsborough like the old days. Or, I don't know, somewhere else. Villa Park and St James's Park. 105 million transfer budgets. Crazy stuff. Also, it's a bold move putting Rangers in the Championship in England, because that does essentially mean you're gifting Celtic 10 in a row. I don't know how we've blown that. I was always an advocate of the "it depends on the teams" thing. They should just see who qualifies for the semi-final and play the game at the biggest ground in the middle-ish of the two. That was always my thing. So like Arsenal and Chelsea, there's a strong argument that game could probably be played at Tottenham. Whereas if it's like Bristol City and Newcastle, it's a really good argument that should be played in Coventry. Yeah. Why not? Celtic also in the Championship. But yeah. Like, I'm all for a neutral ground for an FA Cup semi-final, as long as that neutral ground makes sense. Like, the neutral stadium has to be logical. It can't just be, oh, we booked this a year ago, so that's where it's played. But, that said, I am committing one of the cardinal sins of modern football when I say stuff like that. I'm thinking about the fans. Which I know is very uncool of me to consider the fans in any given situation. We could force London to be inconvenienced once, but Charlie, have I said I didn't want you here? Pretty sure I just said stop asking for stuff. Asking how the World Cup is not really considering the fans at all. Well, yeah. So here's the thing: FIFA do not give a fuck about the fans. FIFA do not and have not ever at any point in their entire history ever once given a fuck about football fans. FIFA exists so a bunch of millionaires can essentially scam money from tiny countries. I did see that Iran will be playing at the World Cup. It's going to be really awkward. And they were like, can we just not play any games in the US because we're all afraid of being murdered? And FIFA were like, no. Good FIFA-ing, FIFA. Like, it's bad enough that you're sucking a terrorist dick to have your World Cup in the first place. Sorry, I shouldn't call him a terrorist. That's not his correct title. He's a terrorist paedophile. You have to be really clear, otherwise it could be libelous. Basically, Iran were afraid that an orange terrorist paedophile, con man, arsehole, racist prick, might possibly be a danger to their lives. Could have said FIFA didn't give a fuck about football, never mind fans. It's factually true. What happened? Well, what happened, Archie? And I want you to because I know you work for Talksport, so you can't be trusted to understand English or common sense. What happened, Archie, is that we lost the game. I know, I know. It's fucking crazy. Clearly it was damaging, Archie. We lost the game. You fucking idiot. I fucking hate Talksport. Sorry, was that not clear? Fucking Talksport. What we're going to do, right, is we're going to take the sports page of the Sun and we're going to get the dumbest ex-footballers we can. We're going to turn it into a radio station, right? And then we're going to invite the dumbest people in Britain to call in. And we're going to call it Talk Sport. Lord Charlie lad handed Trump his arse his own house and Trump probably didn't even notice. Yeah. Ian Hollow was on Talksport last night saying how the wheels are falling. Well, the wheels are off. Is this Triple H? No, this is not Triple H. And if you ain't down with that, got 2 words for ya. I would never publicly do a Triple H impression. You literally gifted us up. Well, we appreciate that, Charlie. I don't know what to. When I mentioned it last night when you gifted us up, I didn't gift us up, but now you did gift us up. I'm so confused. You've asked the board to expand Ibrox. Many people have asked to expand Ibrox over the years, usually with some kind of explosive. They've agreed to it, fair enough. That was a gag based on the long history of the IRA, not anything football related. That was an IRA joke, fresh from the 1990s. I'm glad there are no misunderstandings. Got £188 million in the bank. My word. It's going to pay off some families. I mean, that's going to buy some players. Sorry, I'm making terrible jokes tonight. I'm just not a good person. I think it's time we all accept it. I'm just not a good person. Whole team meeting. Right, lads. What I'd like you to do is win. Yeah? Good, I'm glad. Good. Boo! Down with this sort of thing. I know. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Glaswegian football. Also, I feel really dirty whenever I have to quote something written by Graham Linehan. Fuck that guy. Like, I fully accept that Father Ted was unequivocally incredibly funny, but also, fuck Graham Linehan. Fucking prick. Old coaches touched up the players in the boys' club. I mean, that is every football club in England that has happened there. And probably every football club in Scotland. And I dare say every football club in the world. Just saying, there seems to be a pattern. Are you good? You can't tackle, but are you good? I think we're going to offer that fella a trial. Just out of curiosity. Possibly him too. Probably not him. It is mad to think these people would be hated by their own characters. What's really mad though is that a lot of the people who played those characters haven't disavowed him yet. Most disappointingly of all, Richard Ayoade. It's disappointing to me that he wouldn't stand up and be like, "You, sir, are a fucking prick." Where did he go? Excellent. We signed another striker. Do you know where the goal is? Connor, can you point at the goal? And then when you've done that, can you put a ball in it? It doesn't look like he can. He's had 8 goals in 104 games. But, to be fair, no one else is doing it. So I don't think it's unfair to suggest that there's got to be an option. Like, you're okay, you might be okay. Let's try him as a striker, shall we? Kassup, go in there for Mashevsky. And if you could please be the guy that goals for us, that'd be lovely. Because someone has to score goals, or we are probably going down. Like, we just need one striker to go on a goal scoring streak. One striker. Doesn't matter which one, doesn't matter what time, doesn't matter how many, just score some goals. That would be a lovely thing for us to achieve. Right. Go hard when tackling is terrible advice, Danny. Don't go hard when tackling. That's how you get hurt. Also, how many players named fucking Davis do they need in their defence? Are they just collecting members of the same family? Jed, Jack, and Glyn. Right, I'm going to leave you guys in charge because we always win when I leave you guys in charge. I'm going to be back in a second after I find some liquids. Jonathan Rowe might potentially be joining Rangers. I don't know who Jonathan Rowe is. But that's good. I'm glad. Let's get goals, please. I'm far from pleased. Can we have some goals? I'd like it if Connor Casper could score. Just look vaguely good on his debut would be nice. Ex-Norwich winger. Cool. Went to Marseille and Bologna. It's a bit random. I always feel like I have to reiterate. I don't watch anywhere near as much football as people think I do. Samuel Powell scores. Good stuff. And it's not helped by the fact that the vast majority of my FM saves start right in the lower reaches of football. So, like, there are Premier League footballers that I have no idea exist. Watch the Villa game tonight. Who were Villa playing? Did they win? Did they not win? Did they have a good time? Were they back before curfew? Did they tell their mum they loved them? Forest won 1-0. Oh, that's a shame. Slash, yay! Delete is appropriate. Europa League semis? Alright, fair enough. Like I said, the amount of football I watch is shockingly small. I don't hide it. I watch a shockingly small amount of football. Good. Well, hopefully one of them will win the Europa League. Both teams with a big European history. Of course, both former champions of all of Europe. Petro Datseris finally scored. I cannot believe that's just happened after I gave up on him entirely ever scoring a goal and moved him out to the wing. I should do some work on my website at some stage. It's probably a good idea. Right, can we have a third goal? Go on, let's push our luck. Let's have a third goal. Because that goal puts us up into 17th in the table. So in theory, another goal also puts us in 17th in the table because our goal difference is awful. We have got one. Do you know, we haven't done this for a while. We haven't done this for a while. Penalty takers, right? Who's the obvious penalty taker? Simon Racine. And how's he the obvious penalty taker? He's not on the pitch. Clearly, the obvious penalty taker is Gorkum Kara, trying to sign Lewis Ferguson. I loved his mum's box. Budgie the little helicopter. Right, come on, can our goalkeeper get a goal? Score it, score it, score it. He scored it. Gorkum scores. We've done an excellent job to get ourselves up into 17th. Tottenham have also put in a bid. Maybe he likes being relegated, like Tottenham do. It's funny because Tottenham are going down. Looking forward to that massive game next season when Tottenham travel to Sincil Bank to play Lincoln City. Tottenham fans going to learn themselves some geography. They're going to learn where places are next season. Going to be stood there staring at the little tube maps trying to figure out how to get to Lincoln. Going up to the counter at the station, we're like, "Hi, is Bristol in zone 4 or 5? Press conference, don't think I will. It's nice of you to ask, though. Oh, Portsmouth are next. Excellent. They'd be a great team for us to beat. I'd be for that. And then maybe we can beat West Brom. We probably can't. Realistically, there are 3 games left of the season, and there are 6 points left on the table, aren't there? And this is 3 of them. Lewis Ferguson is now a Rangers player. Welcome, Lewis Ferguson. If you'll proceed out to the darkest corner of the stand, we'd like you to hold up a scarf we found in a box in Lost Property. Wear this promotional 4th kit that we'll never wear in a match, but we're desperate to sell more of from the club shop. And if you could stand in the least possible lighting while we take a picture of you for Instagram, that'd be fantastic. Still got £102 million to spend. Commons developing concerns. Well, I was developing concerns, Commons, when you didn't score any goals. That's why I signed other strikers. Bacon request to be removed from transfer list. Not shopping list, though. Always keep bacon on your shopping list. Unless you're vegan, in which case still keep it on your shopping list, but bring it to me and I'll make sure it's taken care of for you. It's not animal cruelty, it's already dead. I'm just making sure it gets to a safe place as fast as possible through this hole. You had bacon today? Whoa, spoiled. Tell me I'm wrong, Mariners. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't have any philosophical problem with vegans. I have a grammatical problem with vegans. You cannot chant meat is murder, because murder is present/future tense and meat is very much past tense. Technically, for there to be meat, there has already been a murder. Just saying, you stand outside the butcher's going, meat is murder. No, no it's not. No it's not. It's the byproduct. It's like going, he is fire. He is fire. No, it's not. It's not though, is it? It's not. It's just factually that's not a thing. Why are you looking for Benny's uptime on this channel, Charlie? The best place to find out how long Benny's been up for is to go to Benny's channel. Just accidentally opened Netflix. That was not a thing I wanted to do. let me save you an adventure. Benny, let's get the game underway against Portsmouth. Do I need to change my team? I probably don't, because that team did a winning. We'll go with that. And I can tell you that Benny has been live for 0 minutes because Benny is not currently alive. There are some cool people live. Not that I'm looking to raid out right away. I want to finish this season. But Rich is live. Jeb's live. Scheme's live. Yun's live. Observer's live. Doom's live, playing something called Pal World. It's got lots of friends. I don't know what's going on. I wanted to show you here live, not live. Predicted 13th in the league. Fun times. Picked a team to win. We need 1 point to guarantee survival, chat. 1 point to guarantee survival. That's what MediaFace said. I love how working that table is. She's not wrong, you know. Wow, we could be guaranteeing survival. The rallying cry of champions, indeed. 1 point to guarantee survival. To be fair, we were bottom when we took over, so that's not actually that shabby. We actually technically don't even need 1 point to stay up. We just need Preston to not win. Yunus Musa is now a Rangers player. £15 million. Alright, we can't really do a lot about Preston winning or not winning because they are not playing. Oh, I see why we need to win, because Preston are playing Coventry. Too many U's. Yeah, maybe a few too many. That's possibly time for the medication. Possibly. That's Sarah's corner. Someone have a goal. Someone have a goal. Or the ref can blow a thing for a shove, which I just witnessed. That would be nice. Had to play my last save with every foul except I thought it was cool. Fair. Had a bunch of players with no vowels at one point, but I was playing in Wales, so it was perfectly normal. No one thought anything of it. Made up a song, obviously. Of course you did. Of course you did. Right, we're nearly there. We're nearly survived. We just need 1 goal and we'll be survived. In theory. There's the 1 goal. David Clark, the man who hadn't scored many goals till we got here, has scored goals. Now we are here and we are officially, barring something going horribly wrong, which it inevitably will because I'm enjoying this, we are survived. Flex the muscles. Ayu. Is that not like every song from the 80s? Bit of synth behind it. Boom. Done. #1 hit 50 years ago. 40 years ago. It's not 50, I made myself really old. 40 years ago, that would have been a #1 hit. You go, and then you sit on a keyboard, hooked up to a synthesizer. Oh, no, I didn't want to berate them. Don't berate them. Let's cancel that, please. Praise them. That's Saris. Goal, please. Someone goal. Come on. What does berate mean? Berate is to yell at someone. No I in his name. No I in his name. Marouane Wassani. There's no I in his name. Alright, we're for this. That's strong. That's strong. That is some creative chanting. I hereby anoint you chief songwriter of the revolution. We're up into 15th, chat. Petros Datseris has scored 2 goals in 2 games. That's crazy. Also, you know I was saying when we got here I'd like to finish 12th or 13th. It's actually not unrealistic. You've got some sad news, Dylan. Go on, hit me with your sad news. Hit me with the sad news. And it better not be that you found an I in Marouane Wassane's name. Casemiro has officially left Rangers. I'm sure no one's crying. Champions next season, Mariners? I think so. I think I'm going to go for champions next season. We're up into 14th. It's unreal. We're going to go for champions next season. We've got to, really. It just seems rude not to. It would just be rude not to win the championship next year. If we get a budget, which is never guaranteed. It's 2-0 at half time. We are safe from relegation. Happy with the number of shots. Keep doing that. Realistically, just keep doing more of that, please. You're going to be rich. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Have you been doing as Yoon said and working very hard? Because we learned yesterday that guarantees becoming rich and successful. Selling Gassama 14 million and Chamiti for 35 million. Right, come on, Jordan. Great cross. Petros Datseris has finally come alive. It's way later than I needed him to, but he's alive. Now there's no pressure at all on him to score goals. He's decided to start scoring goals, which is a bit rude, but we'll allow it because it's guaranteed us survival in the championship. And my reputation as a relegation survival specialist can only be fully golden now we've done it at St Mirren and at Millwall. Some say this is legendary stuff, and some say I'm becoming the new Tony Pulis, which I don't like as much. As you know, I could be the new Big Sam because I also enjoy it when people hand me envelopes stuffed full of cash. David Clark has scored. Excellent stuff. Love it. 4-0. That's time to make some changes. Let's rest Hackney. When I say rest, I mean punish. We'll send in Oshin. We'll take Clark off for Broadley. This might be the point we need. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take off Godfrey for Ajani. And then hopefully... Oh, Cassup. How have you died? Do you know what? I don't need 11 players on the pitch. It's fine. We're so good. trying so hard not to laugh at messages that I see from Heindo. Uh, so hard. Red card, there you go. You've got 10 men now. You're not so clever now, are you? You injure my striker. Why is Datsaris up top now? I did not rearrange that team in any way, shape or form. It just did it for me. It's very odd. I was quite happy to not have a striker, but it's just decided that I needed one. Kieran Mwamba has scored. Everyone's happy. 5-0. Here's a Specky Bam. Yes. 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 5-0. Well, I think we responded to the challenge of trying to get... We've avoided relegation. Well done, lads. It took you long enough. Success has been had by multiple people involved. That's great news. That's great news all around for multiple people, I suspect. Anyway, we've survived relegation. So the only thing left to do now is get to the end of the season and find out what our budget's going to be, whilst also hopefully finishing mid-table. I'd like to think we're going to have a budget of literally some pounds. Millwall fans want permanent deal for Clark. Okay. What does he cost? Doesn't seem likely, does it? Doesn't seem likely I'm going to casually come across 10 million quid. I think we'll mark that up as a pipe dream. Right, there's 6 points left to play for. We could finish as high as 12th. But I'll settle for 13th with a positive goal difference. I think that would be quite a success. I think the Roma fella can go away. Yes, I have a great relationship with the fella I've never heard of, Beatrice. That's exactly how that works. I didn't know who he was before you called, and I still don't really know who he is now, but I've got a great relationship with him. Absolute BuzzFeed levels of journalism. Sunderland Crown champions. Drives me mad when everyone is that. You've been linked with Dave Smith during this transfer window. Any chance? How close are you to signing him? And I'm always there like, the fuck is that guy? Like, every time I just look at like, I don't know who that fella is. Why am I being linked with him? Exactly, my best mate, it says here. It's really weird. I was doing a thing for YouTube earlier. It might become a thing for YouTube. I'm playing with a thing for YouTube. Anyway, it was like I'd been linked in the media with some player from fucking Libya or something. Like a 19-year-old playing in Libya. And I was just there like, realistically, what are the chances I've heard of them? Could I give you a 50 million loan so you could buy Santiago Castro? I'm gonna say, ask Heindo, he's richer than I am. Pay the full loan back with 1% interest. don't have the money. We've signed Jeremy Beadle. Kinda will have the cash. He's just been out shopping, so I know he's got some cash lying around. I could get a loan to give you a loan. Actually, I probably couldn't, I'll be honest. You find anyone dumb enough, a bank dumb enough to give me a loan, and you should use it yourself. My credit report just says no in big writing. Largely due to a wonderful magic trick I had in my 20s, where I could make a credit card disappear up my nose. It was an impressive time. I watched The Big Short. Is basically how it starts. I have not. I am not even aware of The Big Short, I don't think. Or I am, and I've forgotten it. Either of those things are possible. How about why you put an apple slice up your nose? I don't think that's the same magic trick. The Big Short. Oh, I'm aware of this film. It's an Adam McKay film. I have a feeling I didn't watch it because it's an Adam McKay film. Which is odd, because I usually require very little persuading to look at Ryan Gosling. Or Christian Bale. Or Brad Pitt. But there you go. But I do need quite a lot of persuading to watch an Adam McKay film. Because realistically, the only good things he's ever done have been Anchorman and Talladega Nights, and everything else has been really awful. Got it, I found it on the Pedia. I shouldn't call it the Pedia, that's questionable. Should not refer to it as the Pedia. It sounds like you're in a Flash's mat near a playground. Linguistic fun. Right, let's stick Renell out there. Actually, I'm not. No, let's not prat about. You want to play football, don't you? Worried Connor Cassip will take his position in the team. Well, you didn't score any goals, did you? So I think that position's gone. Alright, let's do it. Let's try Jay Mashevsky up top. I forgot how to get the apple slice out. I had to go to A&E. Yeah, it's less of a magic trick. Right, let's do it. Let's beat West Brom. Less of a magic trick, more of an IQ test. I remember that Mensa paper. Yeah, being 5 does give you a bit of a pass. Right, let's go and beat West Brom, who are, for those watching in black and white, the team in white. Because I still cannot make the kits work properly. I say I can't make them work. This is the base kit. Does anyone else have this problem? Is it just me? Or do others have this problem where the kits that are fully licensed don't actually appear in the game. Is this a common problem people have had? Because it's really annoying. I'd quite like to get it fixed. David Clark's bloody scored again. I've turned him into a world-class midfielder. And I don't know how, but 8 goals in a season, and he's had 7 of them since we got here in January. So what are the racists say, Dylan? But that's the thing, Liam. I don't have a kit pack installed. This is the base game. And I'm not seeing any kits. See, 2 black monitors and a black TV is clearly the opposite of being a racist. That's why I have a black monitor, an Asian monitor, and a gay TV. Just to make sure I'm covered. I even have a pansexual alarm clock, so I always stay woke. Oh, my words. How are you going to be 2-0 up against a team 4th in the league and shooting like it's a rugby match? Also, like frying pans, don't fry the pan, fry things in the pan, that's the secret. Chef tips. Hashtag chef tips. Norwich, could you start losing? No particular reason, but if you could start losing, I could maybe achieve my dream of finishing 13th. Cambridge could do with us back, but they turned us down. We offered to come back when they fired their boss. And they went, no, you only just left us. Well, it looks like you made a mistake then, doesn't it? You signed Kareem Kanate. Do not get me started on Kareem Kanate. Kareem Kanate and I have a football manager-based blood feud. Because I managed him to become a World Cup winner with the Ivory Coast in FM24, and he refused to score goals for me. Like, I had to drop him to win the World Cup with the Ivory Coast because he refused to score goals for me. I was like, bro, you're the best striker in the Ivory Coast. Could you score some goals for me? And he wouldn't. Right, Racine, it's time for you to do a thing. Mwamba, do your thing. Buying his teammate. Now, having watched Kareem Kanate play, I know for a fact that he doesn't have any teammates. Because nobody has ever seen him pass. Kierkegaard. What was that? That was bizarre. So Mondio picks up the ball here, takes a touch, and very literally kicks it directly into Tristial's face. Yeah, I think of Kareem Kanate as being like the African version of Arjen Robben. He only has teammates in theory, but he's never been known to pass to any of them. Come on, let's see this one out. and also see that Norwich are losing. Come on, Norwich. Oh, they're winning. And we're drawing. Alright, so what we've learned is our ceiling is definitely 13th. But our floor is 17th. So we're either a mid-table side or a team that barely avoided relegation. It's up for discussion which. But we are a team that's avoided relegation, so that's all good. Right, didn't get the result we wanted. Blah 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 blah. Words, English, welcome, words. Words. Anywho's it's one more game left of the season, which means, and I know this will shock you because I'm mathing a maths, but it means one more match left of the stream. I know. It's crazy how that happens. Because we need to know what our budget is for next season, and I'm hoping it's like £400 million, but I suspect it's going to be closer to £400,000. I just want to chase that positive goal difference. We've got to play Plymouth. They're right behind us. This one should be ours for the taking. It should be huge. It should be huge. It's going to be massive. We're going to get the big wins against the other teams and try and finish 13th. Unlucky for some, not for us, because we need the points and the money and the boost. If we finish this season in 13th, then maths means that we'll finish next season top, because in half a season we'll have gained 11 places, right? So in a whole season, we should gain 22 places, which quick math tells me means that we're going to finish 11th in the Premier League next season. That's how maths works. Don't try and claim that's not how maths works. It's a lie. I don't make the rules. It's just science. And maths, which is debatably also a science. Possibly. Don't really know much about science. Or maths. The important thing is it checks out. Anyway, Plymouth Argyle. Final day of the season, and the only thing we've got to play for is 13th in the Championship. It doesn't sound exciting, but we're going to make it exciting by winning. And then big pile of money plus. That's what I'm saying. Big pile of incoming money. And Coulter's playing for Bournemouth. I didn't know they needed a horse. That was mean. That was unkind. That was an unkind gag that I just made about someone I don't know but rationally dislike. obviously completely rationally dislike. You're trying to buy your cousin. I'm pretty sure there are laws against that. I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty certain there are laws preventing the purchase of one's relatives. On FM. Clearly, see, I thought you meant in real life. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you meant in real life. I was concerned. I was like, why are we trading in human beings? Why are we human trafficking? We're gonna give Hindo a run out. Because I don't really see a reason not to. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll start Commons up top too, just to stop him crybabying / see if he can score a goal from open play. Surprised he wants to join, supports the green team in Glasgow. Look, his politics should not have a direct effect on his football team, okay? Maybe he just really likes recycling. Anything's possible. Maybe he's keen on cycling, tofu weaving, sustainable energy, the environment, not wearing deodorant, any of those things. There are many reasons people choose to be green. Right, let's kick off this last game of the season that we're only playing so as to see what our final wage budget is of the season. Or sorry, our final transfer budget is for next season. And all to get into 13th place in the championship, even though there's no danger of us going down. It's basically just a game that's happening. De Graaf. Wow, we tried at defending. It didn't go well. We tried at defending. What do we think Hindo's rating is going to be in this game then? What are we saying? Final rating for Hindo in this game. He's currently on a 6.8. Is he going to get a man of the match performance, score a goal maybe? 0? Brutal. Liam's saying a 7. Liam's got faith. David Clark's had another goal. It's the first one from the penalty spot, I think, too. Not because he's missed them, but because he hasn't been our penalty taker. We'll see. We'll see if 7 is an accurate prediction. Nothing on the line for it. Just a bit of fun for our 15-year-old Hindo on his debut. Be nice if he did get a 7, because then he'd get like crazy development over the summer, because the game would record his form for this season as being a 7. He's creeping towards it. Slowly creeping towards it. McGinn is unveiling McGinn. McGinnception. It's a McGinnception reception. That was hard to say. I'll be honest, that joke didn't work because it was hard to say. A McGinnception reception. McGinn squared. Go for a pasty, it's McGinsters. Come on, let's have goals. Let's have goals. Where are we in the table? Are we 13th? We're bloody not. Borough are winning. That's rude. Alright, I'll settle for positive goal difference. 2-0, coming right up. Come on, Clarkey. Okay. Don't. Hindo's got to a 7. He's got to a 7 rating already. Just over half an hour played. He's on a blinder. Over the top, Williams is in. John Williams, once again, cannot score. Rare problem for him. Olwafi on the ball. Let's praise them, shall we? Praise our boys. Let's praise them. Heap them with praise. Shower them with love. As one does at the Arts in London. That was terrible. I don't know what that was about. It's clearly nearly 1 o'clock in the morning because I've started gremlining. Don't need to see that again. Thank you, though. It was lovely to see that you scored a goal. We're back in 15th, guys. We're aiming for 13th. If we could finish in 13th, that'd be lovely. Sunderland breaking the 100-point barrier, by the way. For those who are interested in that sort of thing. You know, numbers and whatnot. And or Sunderland. Don't matter, we're going to score 100 points next season. We'll still come second. Come on, let's go score a goal. Let's go score more goals, please. Okay, we didn't score more goals. We've got players not playing well. I know it's the last day of the season and it really couldn't matter less, but also it should matter to them to like try and put the work in. Just because I haven't looked at any contracts yet, so I don't know who needs a contract, who has a contract. Commons won't get a contract because he can't score one-on-one with a goalkeeper to save his life. So that's a thing we can write. Hindo's slacking. Terrible. Terrible stuff. Go on, let's have a goal. Let's have a goal. Oh, through ball's not there. Powell. Ooh, we're about to go behind. Cheers, lads. Kids crying. Thanks. Right, Commons. You can get the fuck off because I'm not a fan. That's Saris off for Racine. Godfrey off for Ajani. We'll take Powell off for Fuzio. Facida off for Mwamba. That's all the subs for the season. We're out of subs for the rest of the season. No more, no less. Goals plus. Hindo has disappeared from this game of football. Just a touch. Tactics, Oppo instructions, apply all advice, do that. Let's get back in the game. Let's get back in the game. Or we could concede another goal. It's a bold strategy, unless if... What the fuck was that? Why would you do all that work to get into the box just to hoofer past 35 yards backwards? Well, I know they scored at the end of it, but you'd be fuming if you were his gaffer. Well, that's gone really badly. That means we're gonna finish 18th. I didn't even know finishing 18th was a possibility at the start of this game. Well, that changes my maths for next season. That means, quick maths, that we have only managed to gain 6 places in half a season. So next season we're going to gain 12 places, which is going to put us into 6th, which means playoffs, which is not winning the title. Alright, let's see what our budget looks like. Let's see the big money budget we're about to get. I'm going to say £400,000, depending on players, in the Championship. Yep, feels like a good number. Feels like a reasonable number. Feels like the way it could go. Put in all that work to keep Millwall up, and they're going to say 400 grand. There you go. That's what it feels like. Mielitz playing his last game for Plymouth. Well, emotional. Coventry bloody stayed up. They were bottom of the league at one stage. Coventry have stayed up. That's wild. Not entirely relevant, but, you know, cool. 600k, says Liam. Send an assistant to that. That's not important. I just want money. Pay me the money. Pay me the money. Give me the budgets. I need the budget. Give me the budget. Show me the budget. Show me the money. Where is the money? Show me the money. I haven't seen the money. I see no money. Where is my money? Come on. I can't keep that up for much longer. There's the money. Alright. Liam says 600. I'm saying 400. Budget says £1.75 million, but only if I cut the wage bill by £3.5 million. So that's gone well. Cool. Well, I guess Gorkim Kara's leaving us then, because he's worth £7 million. So I reckon he's probably leaving us so as I can have some spendies tomorrow, some spensies for the window. That feels great. Presumably I've got a bunch of loanees I'm overpaying, so that shouldn't be a huge issue getting rid of some of that. I'd quite like to keep Neil Godfrey if I can. What does he want wages wise? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, that's a wonderful experience we all just had together, and I hope we're all very grateful that it happened, because it was a thing that happened. I don't know any... Night, Liam. I don't know any of the people who are still on, do I? I do know a person who's on. He is somewhat incredibly beautiful. Have a good night. We are going to go and see the Prince of Canada. A legend in his own lifetime. The pride of Winnipeg. Dramatic pause. Manitoba, Canada. Your good friend and mine. I'm totally not filling for time. Your good friend and mine, the observer of football. Let's go say hi. Everyone join the raid. Come, give him a wave, show him some love, tell him he's gorgeous. You know how that works. All that great stuff. See you all very soon. Arrivederci.